Today we're going to go over your test review so that you can prepare for your test tomorrow. Number 1 says, the ticket sales for the Ice Cream Social from 2006 through 2010 are shown below. A is asking, how many times greater were the ticket sales in 2010 compared to 2006? First, we need to go through and label our bar graph. So in 2006, they sold 100 tickets. In 2007, they had 0 tickets sold. In 2008, they sold 200 tickets. In 2009, they had 0 tickets sold. And in 2010, they sold 250 tickets. A is asking, how many times greater were the ticket sales in 2010 compared to 2006? In order to figure out how many times greater, we need to divide the amount of tickets sold in 2010 by the amount of tickets sold in 2006. This is a power of 10 question. Remember, when we divide by a power of 10, we move the decimal to the left. We're dividing by 100, so we need to move the decimal 2 times to the left. So our answer is 2 5/10 or 2.5. B says, if the ticket sales trend shown in the graph continues, what would be a reasonable prediction for the number of ticket sales in 2013? Justify your answer. By looking at our graph, we can see that odd years had no ticket sales. So it's reasonable to assume that in 2013, they will have no ticket sales. Number 2, what is the mean of the following data set? In order to find the mean, we need to first add the numbers in the set and then divide by however many numbers were in the set. So first we need to add the numbers in the data set. The sum of these numbers is 39 and 5900. Now that I've added the numbers in my data set, I need to divide by the amount of numbers in the set. So I need to divide 39 and 5900 by 6. 6 goes into 39 6 times, with 3 left over. I need to bring my decimal up and my 5 down. 6 goes into 35 5 times, with 5 left over. I need to bring my 9 down. 6 goes into 59 9 times, with 5 left over. I've run out of digits, so I need to add a 0 and bring that down. 6 can go into 50 8 times, with 2 left over. Once again, I've run out of digits, so I need to add a 0 and bring it down. 6 can go into 20 3 times, and I have 2 left over. My remainder has repeated, which means that this is going to be a repeating decimal, so I can put a repeating symbol over my 3, and we're done. So the answer is, the mean of the following data set is 6.5983 repeating. Number 3, the graph below shows the amount of books that Emily and Braden read every day for 5 days over the summer. Use this graph to answer the following 2 questions. Before I start solving, I'm going to go ahead and go through and label my graph. So I know that Braden is the blue line and Emily is the green line. So first I'm going to go through and label Braden's plots. On day 1, Braden read 25 books. On day 2, he read 30. On day 3, he read 35. On day 4, he read 40. And on day 5, he read 20. Now using red, I'm going to go through and label Emily's plots. On day 1, Emily read 5 books. On day 2, she read 50. On day 3, she read 25. On day 4, she read 40. And on day 5, she read 30. Now that we've labeled our line graph, it will be easier to go through and answer the questions. Number 3 says, on how many days did Emily read more books than Braden? So I can go through and see that on day 2, Emily read more books than Braden. And on day 5, Emily read more books than Braden. So that's 2 days that Emily read more books than Braden. Number 4 says, which statement is best supported by the graph? So that means we're looking for a true statement. Instead of just reading one and finding your answer, we need to go through and read all of our choices to make sure that our answer is correct. So A says, the most books read by Emily was on day 2. So I can see on day 2, Emily read 50 books. 50 books is the most books that Emily read. So I'm going to put a check next to that, but I'm going to continue to go through and do B, C, and D as well. B says, on day 1, Emily read about 10 more books than Braden. I can see on day 1, Emily read 25 books. I'm sorry, Braden read 25 books, and Emily read 5 books. So on day 1, Braden read more books than Emily, so that's incorrect. I'm going to cross it out. C says, the most books Braden read was on day 5. So I can see on day 5, Braden read 20 books, but on day 4, Braden read 40 books. So that's also incorrect. He did not read the most books on day 5. And D says, on day 3, Emily read about 10 more books than Braden. So we're going to look at day 3, and we're going to see that Braden read 35 books, and Emily read 25 books. So Braden actually read 10 more books than Emily. So we're going to go ahead and cross that out, because that's also incorrect. So now that we've gone through all of our choices, we know that A is our final answer. Number 5, Yvette has a list of all her video game scores for last week. What are the mean, median, and mode of the data set? In order to find the mean, the first thing we need to do is add all of the numbers in our data set. When we add all of these numbers together, we get 808. There are 10 numbers in our set, so we need to divide 808 by 10. Once again, we're working with a power of 10, so we can just move the decimal to the left. Since we're dividing by 10, we can move the decimal 1 time to the left. So our answer for mean is going to be 80 and 8/10. Now we need to find median. In order to find median, we have to put all of our numbers in order from least to greatest. So now that our numbers are in order from least to greatest, we can figure out which number is in the middle. Remember, we have an even number of numbers in our set, so we're going to have 2 numbers left in the middle. So let's go ahead and start crossing off to see what we're left with. I'm left with 81 and 86. In order to figure out what the median is, I need to add these 2 numbers together and divide by 2. 81 plus 86 is 167, and 167 divided by 2 is 83 and 5/10, or 83 and a half. So our median is 83 and a half. The mode is the number that appears most often in the data set. So I'm going to look back through my numbers, and I see that 72 appears twice. No other numbers appear twice, and no other numbers appear more than twice. So that means that my mode is 72. Number 6 asks, which measure of central tendency best describes Yvette's scores? Yvette's scores have an outlier, which was 57. So we know that our mean is not going to be the best representation of the data. Whenever we have an outlier, the median is always the best representation of the data. So our answer is B. Number 7 says, the bar graph below shows the number of career home runs hit by certain professional baseball players. Which statement is not supported by the graph? So we're looking for something that is not supported by the graph. So we're looking for a false statement. Before I read any of the answer choices, I'm going to go through and label the numbers that are in my graph. So I see that Joe DiMaggio hit 350 home runs. Jeff Bagwell hit 450 home runs. Mickey Mantle hit 525 home runs. Rafael P. hit 550 home runs. Sammy Sosa hit 600 home runs. Alex Rodriguez looks like it's a little bit higher than 600, so I'm going to put 605. Ken Griffey hit 625. Willie Mays hit 675. And Barry Bonds hit 775. These are all an estimation, so if your numbers are a little bit different than mine, it shouldn't affect your final answer. So, back to the question. It says we're looking for a false statement. Once again, I'm going to read through each statement and determine whether it's true or false before I pick my final answer. So, Barry Bonds hit more than double the number of home runs that Joe DiMaggio hit. So first we need to figure out what double the amount of home runs Joe DiMaggio hit would be. So Joe DiMaggio hit 350 home runs. Double that would be 700 home runs. Barry Bonds hit 775 home runs, which is more than double the amount that Joe DiMaggio hit. So that is true, so I'm going to put a T next to it. B says Mickey Mantle hit twice as many home runs as Joe DiMaggio. So first we need to figure out what 2 times Joe DiMaggio's home runs would be. So, Joe DiMaggio hit 350 home runs. We need to double that, which would be 700. It says that Mickey Mantle hit twice as many as Joe DiMaggio. So Mickey Mantle hit 525. 525 is less than 700. So Mickey Mantle did not hit twice as many home runs as Joe DiMaggio. So I'm going to put an F next to that because that's a false statement. C says the difference in the number of home runs hit by Sammy Sosa and Rafael P. is approximately 50. So first let's look at Sammy Sosa, and he hit 600 home runs. Rafael P. hit 550. We need to find a difference, so we subtract. 600 minus 550 is 50. So that is a true statement. And D says Jeff Bagwell hit less than 1/3 the number of home runs hit by Sammy Sosa, Alex Rodriguez, and Ken Griffey. So first we need to figure out how many home runs Sammy Sosa, Alex Rodriguez, and Ken Griffey hit combined. So Sammy Sosa hit 600. Alex Rodriguez hit 605. And Ken Griffey hit 625. Without even adding these numbers together, I can see that 1/3 of this is going to be about 600. So we need to see if Jeff Bagwell hit less than 600 home runs. Jeff Bagwell hit 450 home runs, so that is less than 1/3. So that's going to be a true statement as well. So now that we've gone through all of our choices, we can see that B is the only statement that is false, so that is our answer. Eight says, the number of minutes that Maria spent updating her blog on each of the last 5 days is shown below. Which measure of tendency would best represent the number of minutes that Maria spent updating her blog? The number of minutes that Maria spent updating her blog are 5 minutes, 19 minutes, 24 minutes, 26 minutes, and 30 minutes. This data set has an outlier, which is 5, because it's way less than most of the other data in the set. Remember, whenever we have an outlier in our data set, the median is going to be the best way to represent that data set. So the answer is B, median. Number 9 says, a store manager collects data showing the clothing sizes that are purchased in his store. Which measure of data best describes his most popular clothing size? We're looking for the most popular clothing size. So the mode is the number that appears most often. So the most popular clothing size can be found by looking at the mode of the data. Number 10, Tom was selling boxes of chocolate candy for his school's fundraiser. He plotted the number of boxes he sold in the line plot below. Use his line plot to answer the questions. The first thing we're going to do is go through the line plot and count the X's and label them for each of the days. So I can see that on day 1, he has 10 X's. On day 2, he has 5. On day 3, he has 9. On day 4, he has 7. On day 5, he has 6. On day 6, he has 2. On day 7, he has 7. On day 8, he has 4. Day 9, he has 3. And day 10, he has 3. Now we can go through and answer the questions a little bit easier. Number 10 says, which day did he sell the least number of boxes? So we can see that on day 6, he only sold 2. He has 2 X's. By looking at our key here to the side, we see that each X represents 9 boxes. So that means that on day 6, he only sold 18 boxes, and that's going to be the least amount of boxes that he sold. So day 6 is the answer. Number 11, which days did he sell exactly 27 boxes? So first we need to divide 27 by 9 so that we can see how many X's represent 27 boxes. 9 goes into 27 3 times, so we need to see which day has 3 X's. Days 9 and 10 both have 3 X's, so our answer is day 9 and day 10. Number 12, did he sell more chocolate on day 8 or day 7? Well, on day 8, we have 4 X's, and on day 7, we have 7 X's, so he sold more chocolate on day 7. Number 13, which days did he sell more than 67 boxes? So, first we need to figure out how many X's represents 67. So we need to divide 67 by 9. 9 goes into 67 7 times. We've run out of digits, but we still have a remainder, so we need to add a decimal and a 0 and bring that 0 down. 9 can go into 40 4 times, with 4 left over. My remainder has repeated, so that means this is going to be a repeating decimal. So my answer is going to be 7 4/10 repeating boxes. We can't sell 4/10 of a box, so we can go ahead and make this 8 boxes. So any day that he sold more than 8 boxes, or he has more than 8 X's, means that he sold more than 67 boxes. So I can see that on day 1, he has 10 X's, and on day 3, he has 9 X's. So our answer is day 1 and day 3. Number 14, what is the mode of his data? Well, the mode is the number that appears most often. So I can see here that I have 7 twice, and I have 3 twice. But remember, the 7 X's represent 9 boxes for each X. So we need to figure out how many boxes of chocolate this was. So we need to do 9 times 7 and 9 times 3. 9 times 7 is 63, and 9 times 3 is 27. So our answer is 63 and 27. And number 15, what is the range of his data? In order to find the range, we take the highest number in the data set and subtract the lowest number in the data set from it. So the highest number in my data set is going to be 90, and the lowest number is 18. 90 minus 18 is 72, so the range in my data set is 72. I hope that this helps you with your test review. This video will be posted on Edmodo tonight to help you prepare even more. Make sure that you study for your tests tomorrow.